Welcome back to Alan's Trains. This video is at the request of a subscriber from YouTube, and it's to look at the brickwork that forms the arch on a tunnel portals. I'm starting with the stone archway, and this is approximately the size of one of the stones that we're going to use, and it's in the ratio of 4:6 or 3:2, and again you can vary that to size the scale of your model. Next step is to make 32 of the bricks, which is the number of bricks in the archway. Make sure that these are individuals and not grouped. They must be individual squares. So if you have used grouping to make them, ungroup everything. The next thing to do is to surround them all. And when you've surrounded them, go to the Object, Align and Distribute. And when you've done that, go to Grid and make this one row by 32 columns. Change px pixels to millimeters. I'm going to use 1 millimeter. You can use whatever spacing you want. And click Arrange. Now close the Align and Distribute menu. The next thing we're going to do is to surround all of this and now make it into a group. So Object, Group. The next step after that is to click on Path and go to Object to Path, and under the same menu, then go to Path Effects. This will bring up this submenu. Now, where it says Add Live Path Effect, click on there and go to the Distort Bend, and it will bend an object along the curvature of another path. Now we click on the Bend Path, which is Edit on Canvas. So click this one. Now we know that if we go to this point here and pick the center point, we can push and we can make the archway. As you can see, it's an object, and if we save this, we can now export that either as a print file, or we can send it to a cutting machine such as a Cricut Maker machine. Now, for those who want to scribe this into a piece of material, I would say that whatever the material thickness is, say it's 1 millimeter thick, then set the cut at 0.5 of a millimeter. So put it onto the machine, put the material on the mat, and instead of saying it's 1 millimeter material, make it 0.5, and it will actually put these cuts into the material. This is the brick portal, and I've counted the number of bricks that we'll need to get from side to side. So we want 96 bricks. To make the 96 bricks that you need, rather than build them individually, I've made 4 here. Now don't group them together, just surround them and click inside and clone them, and you'll end up with 8. Surround them again, click on them, clone, you've now got 16, and so on until you've got 96 bricks. Once you've got the 96 bricks, we're going to align and distribute them. So surround them, and this time go to Object, Align and Distribute. This menu comes up, go to Grid and change the rows to 1. It will count the columns for you, 96, change the pixels to millimeters, and in this instance I'm going to use 0.5 of a millimeter gap and click on Arrange. Now once you've got them arranged, then we need to copy them. So we've got to make a copy of that, or a clone. So again, click on Clone and make another set. This time offset them like that. Then surround them again, clone, offset them again, and you've got the 4 rows of bricks that you need. Close the Align and Distribute. You're now going to surround them, and this time you're going to make them into an object. Object group. They're now one group. We now go to path and say object to path, and it puts it on a path. Now go to path effects on the same menu. This will bring up this here. Click on there and go to bend, again like we did before. And this time we're going to use the node tool, again here, edit on canvas, making a note of where the center is. So we then go to the center line and push up. And as you can see, you can make your tunnel portal to whatever shape and size you want. And finally, if you wish to change the size, in other words, to whatever scale model you're building, you then click on select, and then as you can see, it's a group. And if you want to change the height or the width, then just change the height and width here. If you want them to be done in proportion, make sure the lock is on, and then you can alter it to whatever shape and size you want. I hope this video has helped, and for those with a Cricut machine, you can send this to the Cricut machine, and as I said before, if it's on 1mm material, tell the machine in its menu that you're actually cutting 0.5, and it will then score into the material without cutting right through. If you want to, you can then surround your stones or bricks with a box so that it will also scribe this line if you set the material as half the width of what the actual material is. So as I said, if it's a 1mm material, set the cut at 0.5 and it will only scribe these in rather than cut right through. Now we use the same method to bend it. Again, object group, so the box is part of the group, then path, object to path, path effects, same as before, bend, then the on canvas, center point, and then we can push, and as you can see, if you move this, you can make it any shape, particular shape you want it to. Now, when that's finished like that, then that can go to the cutting machine. Now, if you're very careful, once you've scribed it at half the thickness, do not remove the material from the mat. When you've then got this onto the Cricut machine, make sure that you remove these components here and then send the instruction to the machine again at 1mm thick. And because the boxes won't be there, it will only cut out this shape and leave you with the piece of material with all the scribings in it.